people watching us, the people listening to us, the Ghanaians who witnessed the 2024 elections, the Ghanaians who saw the president meet the clergy and promise the clergy to a standing ovation that he is an Assemblies of God person, and by our customs he is against homosexuality, and that Akufo-Addo failed to sign. He, as a president, he's going to ensure that it is done. When demonstrations were held in this country, Ghanaians saw it. When pastors and Muslims, imams, through parliament, sat in the public gallery, gave pressure to members of parliament to ensure that a bill is passed. They are watching. They are listening to the rhetoric and the change of language and the mood. They are watching. If the presidency is not a priority again, fine.
I was say Kwasi Pratt Jr. Wadane spokesperson de ma NDC Amonyokuo. Can any nyina ni say Kwasi Pratt de okotena TV show na radio show. Ne nsemo a woka nyina wo NPP ni a ode bema wo. Wo NDC ni a ode bema wo. Nanso say de ase aban no an wo defend no. Abri bi obenya kwan bia no. Obe defend aban no. Nene wone Adomako mensa oye mrahye bedwani ewo NPP Amonyokuo nim. Ewo msa frija kwa abre wo se bibisa. Wone na kakohia o Metro TV. Nene ensemo akoso papa. Akwasi Pratt trial so be defend the NDC on the LGBTQ+. So sin. Eniema bia ekoso NDC mu no amenu mienu. Ene even NDC for na mu bi kura nim se aban na hwe ye be ha wo mu amoma competition. NDC for na bi kura mpo timi kase ade we nku ayeye no aban mu de e be ha ye. Esu Kwasi Pratt se chinchin obe defend. Na ebra woni Adomako mensa ekohia wo Metro TV ne Clash of the Titans. Kwasi Pratt men kasi wonu no humpo si woni mensa hia. Na so ne sema na wokan kan ye ne de wono ankasa no megidi se so okotena fie no wo se wo posa audio we or boy interview we bi atia obehu se ne de wa mess up papa free se ne sema okokan ye ne de menu mienu eye Ghana for ye nka se NPP for ye abofo ye nka se NPP for mu ye Yesu asuafo a wo mo ba ye no mba be ye bibi soronko bi aye ayi na enso nema bi wo ho no mo a ebre ya na NDC wo opposition no mo ye campaign na mo gina so kan ye ema ye Ghana for ye nya o mo arehye to abama wo mo ti se ne wo mo ba na wo mo antimi elisa ade no so aba ye de bo tachi no ye be sa de abo ban ma na ye aba ye de bo tachi no ye de be bo ban enti ye na ensemu a NDC for wo opposition na wo mo kan wo ne wo mo ba ye wo antimi anye na eno ena Adomako mensa kire se ye gina so a ye de atwa wo no mo chi ye nya daje na ye ntie interview kakra titiru efa LGBT+ a NDC for ye hu dede saa obiti se efa ne se George Hwanhwan eye hu dede saa ko hu tokwa twe hu se kan ene de NDC Amonyokuo ne se ye kan ye ma ehia Ghana fo a LGBTQ+ hu sensem ehia yen ehia yo Adomako mensan ne wa Kwasi Pratt hu se so oya amanyosem a o mienu si oya amanyosem na wonjai sansensem no a ya na ode ne nam tenten no e defend aban yenko na yenko ti interview ne kakramra
demand the following: the immediate realignment of President Mahama's priorities. Say that sovereignty resides in the people. Therefore, President John Dramani Mahama must realign his priorities in line with the real priorities of the overwhelming majority of Ghanaians, specifically the 93% of Ghanaians who, according to the CDD Ghana Afrobarometer survey, consider the practices of LGBTQ and related activities highly repugnant to the societal values and religious beliefs. Second, an apology to the clergy, to the imams, Muslim clerics, and traditional leaders. The NDC and the President John Dramani Mahama must apologize to the Christian Council, the Catholic Bishops' Conference, GPCC, and all other ecumenical bodies, the office of the Chief Imam, and our imams, our Muslim clerics, traditional rulers, and concerned CSOs for the double standards and contradictory priorities demonstrated between the period in opposition and now in power. Additionally, we call on the clergy, our Muslim clerics, communal bodies, traditional rulers, the civil society organizations to call out the NDC and President John Dramani Mahama on their U-turn on LGBT issues to maintain their spirited advocacy for the passage of the pending bill, we urge the Majority Leader, Honorable Mahama Yarga, and the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin, to ensure the swift passage of the reintroduced bill without further delayed tactics orchestrated by the deletion of the advertised bill from the order paper only to be relisted after 7 months of pressure. When we put pressure on them, they relisted it. Clearly, somebody was receiving instruction from the Jubilee House and showing them and whipping them on which priorities they should attend to. And to those of our colleagues who still are part of this bill and who promised Ghanaians that when President Mahama is voted into power, if he drags his feet on the legislation, they will mount pressure. They will put pressure. We are waiting to hear that pressure, to see that pressure.
Regarding LGBTQ plus issues, it remains a highly emotive and sensitive issue, even in the most advanced liberal democracies. I explained during my recent engagement with the World Affairs Council that it's not the most important issue we face as a nation. We're still grappling with the provisions of basic needs of education, healthcare, jobs, food, clothing, and shelter. Nevertheless, the private members' bill introduced in Parliament has sparked a complex and sensitive national conversation. Our position is guided by our Constitution, respect for human rights and dignity of all persons, and the need to preserve social cohesion. While there are strong and differing views within our society, we believe that these issues must be addressed through democratic processes, our core values, dialogue, and the rule of law. I'm also mindful of reactions from our international partners, including the recent developments such as Lincoln University's withdrawal of their honorary doctorate. These developments underscore the importance of continued engagement and mutual respect, and of situating our national decisions within our constitutional.
LGBTQ plus is not the first thing on their mind. They're thinking about the bread and butter issues, my roads, water, electricity, prices of food, transportation, prices of fuel, etc. Those are the things that are bothering Ghanaians. And so how then do we think that LGBTQ plus should be a matter which must be dealt with now? It is not a priority. Do you agree or disagree that this is not a priority?
Uncle Kwasi will always say politicians don't learn. When we lost the elections, I remember I was here with Uncle Kwasi. And then one of the reasons our party gave for the loss, I remember, was that, our people didn't turn out to vote. Then Uncle Kwasi said, Collins, not turning out to vote in itself is a vote. You know, after this election, I've been quiet and having discussion with colleagues. Bro, there's a silent majority of Ghanaians. They don't talk. They don't complain. They just keep things quietly and then they'll take a decision at the right time. If the president is saying that today LGBT is not a priority, no problem. There is a group of Ghanaians who listened to him before the elections, who listened to officials of his government before the elections, who now are even cabinet ministers, who put the issue at the front burner. If today the president says it's not at the front burner and it's at the back burner, no problem. There's a group of Ghanaians watching us, listening to the president, listening to all the rhetorics that is going on. And as Uncle Kwasi said, they will take a decision at the right time. I'm not going to challenge the president, whether it's a priority or not. If he says today that LGBTQ is not a priority, so be it. No problem. The good people are watching and listening. Those who saw chiefs, imams, pastors come to parliament on a daily basis, sit in the public gallery, they listen to our debates. They heard Sam George, they heard the NDC in opposition make arguments about LGBTQ. If today is not a priority, no problem. The same people are watching. Maybe they will not come to parliament to sit. or they will not talk. But when the time is right, they will know whether you are double standing or portraying a certain character. I'm not the one to judge. So if the president says it's not a priority, that's fine. The president says there's bread and butter issues. I lie. That's what the president said. Okay, no problem. Maybe in 2024, when Akufo-Addo was there was no bread and butter issue. The only bread and butter issue was LGBTQ. So if today the bread and butter issue have changed from LGBTQ to construction of roads, to schools, to hospitals, so be it. The good people of Ghana are watching and they are listening. At the appropriate time, a decision will be made. That's what I have to say. So I will not have any comments with the president.
But I fault you for this, Collins. When I say you, not asking as an individual, I fault you, your party, when you're in government for this. Nana should have just signed. It would have saved all of us all this trouble.
I'll respond to that.
Yes, you should have just signed.
Nana didn't sign.
Yes.
He didn't sign.
Yes.
Okay. So you were a journalist. What did the ND say when Nana didn't sign? Muru. I say you were a journalist. Nanado didn't sign.
They pressured him to sign.
Nanado didn't sign.
Yes.
Nanado one sign it. What did Moro, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama say when Nanado did not sign? What did Sam George say when Nanado didn't sign? Were we not told that if within 3 months His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, if he does not sign, he will know no peace? Moro, you have been playing some of these videos here.
Yes, we played it.
That's no problem. I don't have any problem if Nanado didn't sign. You take the blame. NPP, Nanado, he didn't sign. No problem. But what did you promise the Ghanaian people when you were coming? You say, oh, Nanado, he didn't sign. It's true, he didn't sign. In fact, on campaign platform, he said a vote for Baumia is a vote for homosexuality. That's what I said. Now you are being told that 8 parliament has passed. So the thing has to start again. But there were 3 times, 4 times members of parliament who know the procedures in parliament, who know very well that when the bill is not passed within a certain time, it has to start again. But they were promising Ghanaians that when they come, they'll sign. In fact, the president even said that, oh, he's prepared to take it as a government bill. So if today is not a priority, as for me, I'm not even arguing with the president. No problem. Nanado didn't sign. NPP, we didn't sign. Ghanaians punish us for that ally. You promise them that, oh, don't worry, we will sign when we come. These people are not for it. When we come, we'll sign. So if today the president comes and says it's not a priority, and then the people watching us, the people listening to me, they know what is right. They know who is playing double standards. At the appropriate time, a decision will be made.
Okay.
You know,
we're back again.
There's something which is really amazing. I see the new patriotic party in a stampede to become the new NDC. And that's very shocking. What is being said? We were in power. We didn't sign the LGBT bill into law. You understand? We didn't. NDC promised to sign and they won elections. Now we are in opposition. We are insisting that they should do what we didn't do. Now we are the most strident advocates for signing the bill.
Obviously,
do you understand what is happening?
I don't intend to obstruct you.
No, please, you can. You can.
The MPP is not saying that they should do what we didn't do.
Did you listen to the press conference?
The MPP is saying that do what you promised. That's what the MPP is saying.
Which is what we didn't do.
The MPP is saying do what you promised.
Which is what we didn't do.
We didn't do it, but you promised to do it. Do it.
Fantastic.
Do it. Why are you not telling us that now you will not do it?
Master, Collins, please, don't do that to yourself.
No, I'm just telling you
what you are saying is that
yes,
today you have taken the place of the NDC and are insisting that the NDC should do what you didn't do.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
You have become the new NDC.
Yes.
You are fitting into the shoes of the NDC. I would have thought that you would rather build your party as something different from the NDC. You understand? But that is not what is happening. In any case, and Moro, please bear me out. My position on this matter from day one, and Collins, I'm sure you bear me out, has been that, look, what 2 people do in their bedroom, it's not my business. I've always said that. It's not my business. In fact, I've said that if you go and place a hidden camera in the bedrooms of men and women who are married, what you would see, my goodness, you can handle. Okay? So that's not my business. My focus has always been on what to do in order to promote the ends of development. And I've been very consistent on this matter. Okay. Now, my worry is that I don't want my grandchild to go to school and be taught some of the things which were proposed to be taught in the schools. I don't even want to repeat them. I don't want that.
Yeah.
So I have an objection to imposing a certain romantic sexual order on children. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But why? Don't do it in my face. Don't do it in anybody's face. I mean, whatever you want, it's up to you. You understand? So that has been my stand. Now, what are the facts? As we speak now, there is no bill before the president for his signature.
That's true.
All right?
That's true.
There's no bill before the president.
Could a bill expire with the previous parliament?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how do you call the president to sign a bill? What bill? There's no bill.
It doesn't exist.
He cannot sign a bill which does not exist.
Yeah.
You understand? So it's strange. Some of these demands are strange. Now, interestingly, the NPP is in parliament. And the NPP can initiate the process now. Why is it not initiating the process now?
We have. The NPP is part of the bill, the private members bill.
New one.
Yes. Members of parliament from the NPP.
So move it in parliament.
We
Why
are
are you
moving
holding press conferences?
I'm telling you, it appeared on the order paper as far back as before even Christmas. It was taken off.
Who took it off?
Leadership. It was taken off.
Leadership.
In fact, the
leadership.
majority, you are aware, the majority leader came on the floor and said that there was an administrative error when there was none. I'm telling the Anguisi, if the president wants to go to...
So
yes.
is that not where you should be tackling this problem? If you are so committed to passing a bill which makes homosexuality illegal,
Anguisi,
is that not what you should be fighting then? Are you holding press conferences to call the president to sign non-existent bills?
We are holding press conferences to even push the speaker to make this a priority on the floor.
No problem.
Yes, to make it a
But
priority on
when
the
you
floor.
hold a press conference and you call on the president to sign a bill which does not exist,
A
what are you
private
telling me?
members bill was brought to parliament.
Has it been passed?
A private members bill was brought to parliament by the majority leader and the majority chief whip to take out the OSP. The president directed that bill to be dropped. That's how powerful the president is. If he wants it done, it will be done. It is just not a priority, and he has said it.
Collins,
I'm telling you.
please don't surprise me.
No, because I'm not surprising you.
Now let me make
I'm
the
not
point.
surprising you at all.
Please, now let me make the point. One of the cardinal principles of this democratic experiment we are engaged in is the principle of separation of powers. When members of parliament invite the president to interfere in their work, I have a problem. Because it completely undermines that principle, which we claim to be upholding.
Now, because you should have had a problem when the president requested for the private members bill on the OSP.
And who said I didn't have a problem?
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Who said I didn't have a problem?
Okay, that's fine.
You understand?
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
when you have a situation now
That's fine.
where members of parliament who are supposed to protect their independence, who are supposed to respect the principle of the separation of powers and so on, are now inviting the president to lead them in their work, to tell them what to do, then there's a huge problem.
Right.
You understand? And I think we should avoid that kind of situation. For those of you who feel that today, in Ghana today, what is most important is an LGBTQ bill, push it. It is your democratic right. Push it to the final conclusion. You know, insist on the majority leader explaining what he meant by administrative error. If it's not correct, challenge him using all the processes. Fight it. It's your right. You understand? But if you take a posture that everything we didn't do for which the NDC criticized us, and for which we think they got votes to form the government and so on, we would now do, then it seems to me that we are in a stampede to become the new NDC. And that is not. It is not an excellent position to be.
We don't want to be NDC. We are citizens of Ghana.
Sure.
We are citizens.
Sure.
We have the right to request a certain president to fulfill promises he made as part of their manifesto. I don't think it's
promises
wrong.
that you disagree with.
Ankwesi,
to all intents and purposes.
No, Ankwesi,
so why don't you take
every
the
right
Master,
as citizens?
Master, you have every
We have
right.
every right as citizens.
No problem.
Yes.
You have every,
Yes.
what would it sound like if you came and said, "Oh, we were right"? Huh? When our president refused to sign the bill, he was right. Now the NDC has seen the light. Huh? So we actually praise the NDC for recognizing its mistake and so on. That's a different language. That's a different line. It's a different line from coming to say that, oh, we didn't sign the bill. Huh? We were wrong. The NDC was right. Let the NDC fulfill the promises it made. These are two different statements. Two different contexts. Now you have elected to become the new NDC. Oh, we were wrong. NDC was right. So let NDC do what they thought was right in opposition. That's the position you have taken.
Well, we see.
These are two different positions.
I get that. But
Yes.
there's a more fundamental issue.
Yes.
Why the change in posture? Why?
When you see,
No, I'm not asking you as a spokesperson for any party, but I'm just asking that if somebody wants to ask, if somebody's asking this question, which is, why has the NDC slowed down?
Legitimate question.
The NDC was in a hurry
Master, do
for
you
something to
know
happen.
something?
All of a sudden, it's dragging his feet. What has changed?
that's a legitimate question.
Yes.
That's a legitimate question. You're sitting here. I can remember what Sam George and others did in Parliament.
Yeah.
I can remember the coalitions they built. I can remember the threats which were issued.
Yeah.
Demonstrations.
And the demonstrations. I remember all of that. You know, so I'll be very hypocritical if I pretend not to know
All right.
what was done with this whole fight about LGBTQ. I know it. I know what was done. Now, today, I think it is legitimate for any citizen to ask why they are not seeing that same level of vim, energy, and so on. It's a legitimate question to ask, okay? And I have no problems with raising those legitimate questions. What I'm saying is that here is the New Patriotic Party, which, when in power, did not sign the bill. Okay? For whatever reason, did not sign the bill. NDC promised that when they come to power, they will push the bill through, they will sign it, it will become law. Now the NPP comes and says, oh, we lost elections because we didn't sign the bill. Okay. Now, NDC, you are also not signing the bill. Why are you not signing the bill? When it is a good thing to sign the bill. So sign the bill. That's my problem.
So that's
When did the NPP realize it was a good thing to do?
Exactly. When? So then you begin to sense an element of political opportunism.
But I'm question. So
Political opportunity.
So NDC didn't use this as politics. They themselves.
Were you happy with it? Were you happy?
If you say we are being political opportunists,
Master, were you happy?
with you are saying we are being political opportunists.
Master, were you happy?
Today,
with
my
it?
brother Sam George is quiet.
Master,
In fact, Sam George was at the meeting when the president said it was not a
No,
priority.
Sam Johnson has done his part. I
Which
want to
is-
see this tweet.
Which is
It's so Charlie, he's done his part. He's tired.
Oh, tired already.
He said that. He said they should also continue.
he cannot be tired.
Oh, let me look for that. Let me
He
look for
cannot
that.
be
Let me
I'm
look
not
for that.
saying nobody is
It
contesting.
trended. It trended the whole of last week.
Nobody is contesting what you're saying.
Right.
But there's an element of surprise. I mean, something that these politicians were so passionate about.
Yeah.
They were ready to fight.
Yes.
They were ready to organize demonstrations
Yes.
and so on.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden they say, we've done our part, let the thing happen. But that's a problem.
That's the point, Ankwesi.
You understand? That's a problem.
problem. It's a problem.
That's a problem.
I get
There's no
it.
doubt at all it's a
Yeah.
problem.
Yes.
But you guys, you also have a problem.
That's what Ankwesi. So now we can't talk about it.
No.
We are citizens, Ankwesi.
And if we are consistent, be consistent. You're also inconsistent. You are calling for consistency.
Yeah,
but you are very
So
inconsistent.
now we can't talk about it.
No,
But
talk
I'm
about
You
it.
can't be calling for equity when your
No,
hands are
Ankwesi made an interesting point that
Yes.
the bill is not before the president.
Yes.
Ankwesi, those who were saying that when Mr. Mahama comes to become president, within 2 weeks, within 1 month, he will sign. They knew that when a bill passes a certain parliament, it has to start all over again.
Yeah.
But we're promising the people that when we can go sign.
So are you expecting them to do the impossible?
But what?
Because you admit that it is impossible.
But they were promising the impossible.
So they should do the impossible because they promised the impossible. What kind of politics?
No, but Kwasi, no. Kwasi, you have to
know that it is impossible. They promised the impossible. So
but they promised the impossible and
about?
convinced people to vote on the basis of that impossible. Now you are being forced to do the impossible. You are worried about it.
Oh, so you know you're forcing them to do the
impossible. But you know the Kwasi. So they knew that it was impossible. They knew that the bill must start all over again.
But you also know that it's
hey, my goodness. So why were they promising the people that when we can go sign?
So you know it is impossible.
Why did you accept that at the time?
No, but you know it's impossible.
On the basis of principle. you on the basis of principle, why did you accept it at that time? When they said when they come, they will sign it.
Me.
Oh,
me?
They will sign it. No, I'm not not
to
him personally.
You know the difficulties that the past government had in signing the bill. So why are you giving the NDC pressure?
Oh, sir. So why were they giving us pressure?
Master, look. Let's be honest. Let's be honest.
Reality check.
Reality check.
Master, I beg you. The climate which existed
okay, at the time.
in the Akufo-Addo government,
reality check.
It's a completely different climate from now.
Tell me what
On this LGBTQ.
Yes, let me explain. During the Akufo-Addo period, we had a U.S. administration which was willing or ready to impose sanctions on countries which enacted laws against LGBT.
True.
Now you don't have that.
So they should sign it.
Fantastic.
They sign it.
Hold on. Now you don't have that.
Yes.
Now you have a Trump administration which is itself anti-LGBTQ.
So they should sign
You
it
understand?
now.
So the conditions now are
far
more favorable
Absolutely.
than the Akufo-Addo
So they should
time.
sign.
But you agree with me?
Yes, but they should sign.
Sign what?
If it's favorable, they should sign.
Sign what?
The conditions are favorable.
Yes, sign what?
Sign the bill.
So where is the bill? Where is the bill?
They are not pushing it in Parliament.
But there's no bill to sign.
No, I'm going to say the point I'm making is that if they want this bill to pass, they'll pass it under a certificate of urgency. They've done it so many times.
Collins, there's no
You're
bill
not
to
getting my
sign.
point.
You say sign the bill. And there's
No. The members of Parliament, the NDC members of Parliament, they bring bills to Parliament under a certificate of urgency.
So
And it is passed within 24 hours.
Okay, so Collins.
If they are so minded and they are very, very for this particular bill, they would have pushed it through long time ago.
So
The fact that they've not pushed it to tell you that the stance of government are clear. Listen,
So why don't you take a position that the NDC members of Parliament should bring the bill even under a certificate of emergency? Why are you taking the position that the president should sign a bill which is non-existent?
the president should push. The president can push. When the president sits in Jubilee and says that it's not a priority.
But you have just agreed
The president
that the
saying that
president should
should
not interfere in the work of
the
Parliament. You
president
just
has already
agreed.
been interfering.
So he should continue.
He has interfered.
So he should
When he
continue.
interfered, who complained about it? The president has interfered. Members of his own government members of his parliament brought a private member from OSP. The president sat at Jubilee and said, withdraw it.
Yeah.
It was withdrawn. That tells you how powerful the president is. If the president wants this bill to be a priority on the floor, it will be.
Okay.
So if the president sits at Jubilee and says it's not a priority, how is it? How is members of parliament would make it a priority? He has essentially quashed the bill by that statement.
Okay.
That is not a priority. If it's not a priority for him as a president,
Collins.
The priority
Collins.
does not mean that
This is Collins who says that.
he's against the bill.
Master.
Moro,
Collins. Are you saying?
As I said, I'm with you.
Collins, can I ask you just a question?
Okay,
Just
I'm
an innocent question.
I know your innocent questions. I'm with you.
Are you saying that it is okay for the president to interfere with the work of Parliament? Are you saying that?
He has been interfering.
So it should continue.
But you see, the point I'm Kwasi. You see,
it should continue.
No, Kwasi. It's unfair when
It's either a no
Oh no,
or
Kwasi.
a
No,
yes.
your question is not a yes or no.
Innocent question.
No, it's not a yes or no question. If the president interferes, you don't complain. People don't talk about it. They don't speak against it.
So it should
Now we
continue.
are pushing to do another thing. You say that it's wrong.
So it should continue.
Oh, please, Kwasi. Okay, Moro, as I said,
Moro, I have nothing
Moro,
more to say.
Moro, my last point.
Right.
Moro,
I'm listening.
The people watching us, the people listening to us, the Ghanaians who witnessed the 2024 elections, the Ghanaians who saw the president meet the clergy and promise the clergy to a standing ovation that he is an Assemblies of God person, and by our customs he is against homosexuality, and that Akufo-Addo failed to sign. He, as a president, he's going to ensure that it is done. When demonstrations were held in this country, Ghanaians saw it. When pastors and Muslims, imams, through parliament, sat in the public gallery, gave pressure to members of parliament to ensure that a bill is passed. They are watching. They are listening to the rhetoric and the change of language and the mood. They are watching. If the presidency is not a priority again, fine. The Methodist bishop, they are watching. If it's not a priority, no problem, Mr. President.
So
We don't have a problem. If you say it's not a priority, the Ghanaians are watching.
Let's just stick to the issue of consistency. I asked earlier that why is it that during the NPP's time, the NDC was in a hurry for the bill to be passed, and why all of a sudden we see a certain feet-dragging attitude or posture by the NDC?
Why all of a sudden
Now,
the NPP
I'm also going
is
to ask you
also
the
in
same
the hurry?
thing. Yes.
For the
I'm
bill
also
to
going
be
to ask
passed.
you the same thing, which is that why is that during your time, during your tenure, I didn't see a lot of NPP people speak with passion as you're doing now. You were dragging your feet, and all of a sudden, you want the bill to be passed and you're in a hurry. What has also changed?
It's the new NDC. That's all. It's the new NDC.
No, it's still NPP.
We are
There's
not.
nothing like a new NDC.
We are not NDC.
Yes.
We are.
You
So
want
the
to
question
behave
is,
Oh,
why are you now? So
How
why are you now?
in
Why
the
are you
hurry
now
to
in
look
a
like
hurry?
the NDC in opposition?
Because
Because you think that the
You were
NDC
not in a
won the
hurry
election.
in the past. All of a sudden, you're in a hurry. Why? What has changed?
Because they think that is how you win an election.
How can you say so? How can you say so?
Master, I like.
Moro.
Anyway,
They think that is how to win an
Right.
election. If you want to win an election, you have to be like the NDC in opposition. So NPP now is the NDC in opposition.
Collins
The
disagrees.
people of Ghana, you are watching us.
Okay.
You are listening to us.
Right. But
The
Collins,
presidency
let me
is not a priority.
Yes.
No problem.
let me
At
ask
the
you this.
appropriate time,
Collins, let me ask
I'm
you
sure
this.
you're going to speak.
Can we treat a private member's bill under certificate of urgency?
Yes.
It's possible.
Yes. In fact, the one that they brought, the OSP, the one that the majority leader brought,
It's a
it was
priority.
referred to a committee I'm a member of,
Okay.
which is the Committee on Private Members Bill. And
Right.
it's a certificate of urgency.
Okay. My second question to you is this: the bill which is dead by virtue of the expiration of the old Parliament,
Yeah.
can a private member bring the same bill back to Parliament?
That's what they brought. And
The same thing.
Yes, they brought, just that the
No
members,
amendment,
the
nothing.
promoters have changed.
Have changed.
Interestingly, they are proposing some changes
To the same bill.
to the bill. But they wanted Mr. Akufo-Addo to sign the old bill. But they are now saying that there are certain things in the bill that infringe on human rights.
But those were the issues that were taken to court during Akufo-Addo's, and then Akufo-Addo.
But this parliament is different from that
From the-
parliament.
okay.
Even in terms of its composition.
and
It is
all.
possible
Okay.
that new members of parliament will find problems with the old
Old
bill and
okay.
they suggest
You know, I'm
changes.
busy. You know, that's an
What is
interesting
the
one.
problem?
No, it's a problem.
How is that a problem?
I'm busy. Now the NDC, they are about 180 something members.
Yeah.
Okay.
180 something members.
Yeah.
They were pushing Akufo-Addo to sign the bill, and the people.
It's not the 180 something members who are pushing Akufo-Addo to sign the
I'm
bill.
coming.
You know that.
I'm coming. The old bill that they wanted Akufo-Addo to sign, now they want some amendment to the bill. What it tells you is that the old bill has some challenges, but they wanted Akufo-Addo to sign.
Okay.
Now you're looking for amendment. Bring the old bill for Mr. JM to sign, His Excellency. Bring it. The same bill, bring it for him to sign. Akufo-Addo there, fine. His Excellency JM there, this is your amendment. I say Ghanaians are watching. They are listening. They know who's playing double standards in this game. At the appropriate time, a decision will be made. Period.
They also know who is trying to copy who.
No problem. The Ghanaians are watching.
All right. So gentlemen, I want us to look at. I want us to look at another issue before we have about let's say 30 minutes to go. You know, the matter of sole source contracts or single source contracts has come up. Single
Not
source
us to discuss
contracts.
it again.
Yes. You know, there's been some development.
Okay.
You know, the president has asked that the fourth estate, is it Suleiman's Bramit's fourth estate? Yes. He's asked them to bring the report they conducted on, or they published on sole source or single source contracts for some actions to be taken. Now, the group is happy. They've commended the president for that. And so we are being told that, in fact, Suleiman Abraham himself has tweeted that they have submitted the report to the president. Fellow Kwasi tells us that he doesn't know whether the president has received it, and he's yet to confirm and come back to us on that. But be that as it may, let's say they've done their part. Then some kinds of details are beginning to emerge, and must have been 3 or 4 days ago, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye then tweeted on this same matter and has been bringing us some more details on this sole source contract, single source contract matter, something we didn't know before. Do you have any videos you want to play? Okay. So he says that, and I want to read this in order to trigger this conversation on single source contracts. I mean, when I saw it, I said, okay, that's interesting because we didn't know this. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, please bear with me. I would, okay, so now it says the clarification by Honorable Felix Kwakye Ofosu brings much more needed transparency to the discussion around the road contracts. Apparently, out of 930 contracts, only 88 since the NDC came have been single sourced, making it 9.46%. And the person says it clearly shows a deliberate effort to follow due process, with exceptions made mainly for urgent national needs and completion of inherited projects. This is in sharp contrast to the kind of questionable practices we witnessed under the previous administration, where single sourcing became a norm rather than an exception, often raising serious concerns about accountability and value for money. And it says it's quite telling that those who presided over such practices are now attempting to muddy the waters and mislead the public. Ghanaians are more informed today and can see through the attempts and distorted facts. So this one is Felix's post that he made on Facebook. I don't have the entire thing, but I think it's just some excerpts of it. And he makes the point that to be able to make a proper discussion or analysis of this single source contract, you ought to look at all the contracts that have been given since the NDC came to power in the road sector in its totality. And then you would come to a certain realization that out of that 930 contracts that have been awarded, some feeder roads and so on and so forth, highways and so on, it was only under the sole source project, which is 107. If you take 23 out, it brings out about 80 something, which have been given out as single source. So for anybody to suggest that the NDC government has turned the roads ministry into a sole sourced factory, the person may not be accurate in that description. Let me start with Collins. Collins, does this change the dynamics of the issues of this single source contracts? It doesn't.
Felix shouldn't. Okay. He's my very good friend.
Okay.
I have a great deal of respect for him. But he shouldn't take us for, he wants to play around with some numbers. The discussion about the big push has nothing to do with all the contract that government has signed. This whole Suleimana thing was about the big push. Big push project.
Okay.
You see, when we're in power, sometimes, I don't know whether when you are in power and when you're in opposition, something really happens to you. I remember Kwasi when His Excellency Nana Addo announced that there's not going to be a haircut. And then subsequently, there was a haircut. I tell you, we could not manage that communication well. We paid dearly for it. Dearly for it. I'm telling you. DDEP, all the reports we've had, it came out very clear that was one of the things that really hurt us. Moro, we listened to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. We listened to his assigns when they were in opposition about sole sourcing and what they said. We understand English. We are not kids. Yet when they speak to you, we understand. Nobody should come and play with us about this sole sourcing thing that is not like the NPP government. What did Mr. Mahama say, His Excellency? What did he say, Moro? What did he say? It was going to be a thing of the past. I'm going to take steps to ensure that this thing does not become a norm. Oh, if you give contract worth almost 14 billion, 30 billion, 50 billion on sole sourcing, and you are still explaining your way that there's no sole sourcing, I don't understand. And I ain't into Buffalo. When the president says it's going to be rare, what is the meaning of rare? And we are still seeing it. It's just a matter of principle. Just take steps to change your ways. But to trying to explain that we've given 900 contract and only 80 something. What is the value of that 80 something that he's talking about? What is the value? They shouldn't take us for some people who don't understand what is going on. Okay. This is about principle. It's about the principle. What did the president say? We were in power with this sole sourcing. In our law, sole sourcing is not illegal.
Yes.
Is it illegal? It's not.
It's not.
But what was said? What did they tell us? When we were in power and with this sole sourcing, it is not illegal. What were we told? It's a breeding ground for corruption. Breeding ground for corruption. Now you engage in the same thing. We are bringing the point out to you. You say, oh, it's 900 or something, and we gave only 80 at a value of almost 40 billion. You see, he's my good friend.
But is it a quantum analysis, i.e., the quantum of the amount of money we're talking about, or the number of contracts that have been given? Where lies the argument? And that's my first question. My second question is this, Collins. If you have a report that says that the roads ministry has become a factory for churning out sole source contracts.
Push.
No, hold on. Would it be fair to have an analysis of such a report without looking at, in totality, how much contracts have been given by the roads ministry?
What is the value of that contract?
No, Collins, you don't get the point I'm making. The point I'm trying to make is that the value of the contract is another conversation we can have. But I'm saying that if you have a ministry that says that I assumed office 7th January 2025. And since I came, I have opened X number of contracts to competitive tendering. And the roads ministry tells you that this is something that has never happened before. And that in the 8 years of the NPP, almost 95% of all road contracts were given through single source. And that the change which the NDC had promised when they were in opposition, which is that we'll make it rare, we'll make it an exception and not the norm. And you have 93% being contracts that had been given in the last 1 year and some months, which is about 93% of 70
of the NDC towards us also was hey, it's a breeding ground for corruption.
Okay.
If you come and do the same thing, we are printing it out. You say
do you buy the argument about the Auditor General's reports being the grounds or the foundations upon which those issues were raised in the past by the NDC? The Auditor General's report that talked about the fact that too many sole source contracts had been given. That is why we're not getting value for money. And then the NDC lashed on that and held press conferences and so on. Does that change the color of your
are you
argument?
now saying that the NDC's promise of making sole sourcing rare was because, or what all that the NDC was saying, that is a breeding ground for corruption was because of the Auditor General's report? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Kwasi.
Yeah, boss. First and foremost, my brother, the Honorable Member of Parliament, has stated today, right now, that sole sourcing is not illegal.
Yes.
He has said so.
Yes.
The implication of what you have just said it's simple. I mean, there are laws governing public procurement. And the laws spell out conditions under which sole sourcing may become the mode of awarding the contract.
True.
So the issue for us as citizens is whether the laws have been complied with. Clear, whether the laws have been complied with or they have been violated. That's a substantial issue. So far, I haven't had one argument saying that the laws have been flouted.
It's a moral argument so far, nothing to do with the law.
There's nothing that anybody has said indicating that the laws have been violated.
True.
Then there's the issue of language and interpretation. The emphasis is on the fact that the current president said that if he assumed office, he will make sole sourcing real.
An exception.
What does that mean? It doesn't mean that there will be no sole sourcing, but the incidence of sole sourcing will be reduced. Is that not what it means? The language.
Yes.
It will be reduced. It will be reduced to the extent that it may pale into insignificance when compared with non-sole sourced contracts. Is that not the case?
Yeah.
Okay. So now let's look at the facts. And some of the facts have been provided by Felix Kwasi Ufosu. And the facts provided by Felix Kwasi Ufosu indicate that since this government came into power, only 3% of contracts have been awarded on the basis of sole contract. This is contested by my brother here, who says that don't just look at the numbers of contracts which have been awarded, but look at the value of the contracts which have been awarded.
You think it's more important?
More important. Nobody can question him. But when you talk about making sole sourcing real, are you talking about the value, or you are talking about, the
number of contracts?
Numbers and so on. So that's something that we can all deal with. In any case, my friends from the New Patriotic Party make it seem like what this government has done is worse than what they did in office. The facts don't point to that. According to the Auditor General, whilst they were in office, more than 90% of the contracts that they awarded, in fact around 95%, was done on the basis of sole sourcing.
Roads contracts?
Yes, road contracts.
Or is it contracts in general?
Road contracts.
I mean, I'm just referring to the Auditor General's report.
Yes.
Yeah.
Auditor General's report, yes.
Was done on the basis of sole sourcing.
Yes.
That's a substantial difference. Okay? So this government is not doing worse than what the NPP did. That's also established. But you see, all of us would have to agree that we have to use methods of awarding contracts which bring about greater transparency and better money for value analysis. Nobody can disagree with that. Indeed, the president, when he made his comments in which he asked the Fourth Estate to submit its report and so on, also made the same point, that the important thing is value for money, you understand? And that the processes ought to be transparent, and the processes ought not to encourage, graft and corruption and so on. The president makes the same argument that all of us are making. Now, the president has requested for the report of the Fourth Estate, and I want to state publicly that, quite apart from the respect that I've had for the Fourth Estate, I've also had tremendous respect for someone like Suleimana. He's one of our most brilliant journalists. In all my dealings with him, he's turned out to be, or has come up, as somebody who treasures values of discipline and so on. But it doesn't mean that he cannot make mistakes like all of us. He's fallible.
Yes.
You understand? But then I think that he will not go out of his way to do something which would discredit him or destroy his credibility. The president has asked for the report. The report will be looked at, it will be studied. And mind you, the report was based on data which was provided by the ministry itself. Okay? And then all of us can come to conclusions about the way forward.
Well,
in the opposition.
I have a bit of a challenge with this, with the president's report, the request for the report. What report is the president requesting for? The report is out there. It's public. Every information that was provided to the Fourth Estate by the Roads Ministry was something that I believe the cabinet had approved. And so the president by now must have access to the report.
The Fourth Estate report
is
not just a compilation
of
documents from the Roads Ministry. The Fourth Estate report is first a compilation of documents from the Roads Ministry. It's also analysis which involves judgments
True.
and so on.
Right.
So when the president requests for reports,
He wants all of that.
he wants all of that.
Makes
If it's just about the documents from the roads ministry,
That he already
you
has.
can just ask the road minister to give you the
supply them.
documents.
That's
But
fine.
it's more than that. It includes value judgments on the documents which came from the ministry. You understand? So I'm hoping that this whole exercise will be completed in good time, so all of us can have access to the final outcome and all of us can make a determination. Now, what the president promised in opposition was to review the procurement law, and to tighten it such that its abuse can be minimized. That has not been done.
Right.
It hasn't been done. In all honesty, it hasn't been done. So I'm sure that the public, all of us, are looking forward to measures which will tighten the procurement laws and make sure that sole sourcing actually becomes as rare as the president promised in opposition. But given what we have now, the fourth estate report and so on, I would suggest very strongly that some of the positions which have been taken are unduly alarmist. You understand? Because, when I'm hit with the figures, and I find that 97% of all contracts awarded were done without sole sourcing. And I look at I listen to the public discussion on sole sourcing and so on, there's a gap. The impression you get is that, look, something excessively criminal has been done. Most of the contracts were awarded on sole sourcing basis and so on. It is not exactly true. You understand? But the president must keep the commitments he made in opposition. Finish.
That's it. All right.
Yeah, Moro, just a little point. When the NPP was in government,
Yeah.
and they did the sole sourcing, and was there any criminality?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
So
Don't
what
look
the
at criminality.
NPP did at the time, there was no criminal issue. So the opposition then, their outrage at the NPP government at the time was not because of any criminality. It was also a moral issue.
Right.
No moral. I just want you to get my point.
Yeah.
So it was a moral
I
issue.
follow. There was a moral issue.
So NPP did not do any criminality with their sole source.
It was a moral issue.
Okay.
No,
And at the time, it was also because...
it wasn't just a moral issue.
Right.
It wasn't just a moral
Right.
issue. There was suspected criminality.
Inflated costs. Inflated price.
Suspected criminality.
So as we speak now,
Yeah.
those suspected criminality.
Can I?
Oh,
just-
sorry.
I'm
I'm sorry.
The suspected criminality.
Right.
Because of the assumption then that some contracts were awarded directly to relatives of big men in government.
Right.
So if you award contracts to your relatives without sole sourcing, suspicion is aroused.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So that's what happened in the NPP era. In this particular case, I'm yet to hear of the president or the vice president's brother being awarded some of the contracts on sole sourcing basis.
Right. In fact, the reason why I didn't want to raise matters of criminality was because, for me, until a court of competent jurisdiction pronounces the person to be guilty, that's why I didn't want to raise the issue.
No, it says suspected.
Because they haven't gone to
Suspected.
suspected. That's fine. That's
Suspected.
fine. That's fine.
Is that it?
That's
Suspected may not be
Yeah.
substantive.
I agree with you. I agree
Suspected
with you.
criminality.
Yes.
And that someone awarded to brothers and friends. No problem. So now when
I didn't add friends.
brothers,
Yes. Family relatives.
So when now government contracts, government assets, government things that belong to government or government contracts are awarded to brothers, they are suspected criminality.
Sole sourcing.
Oh,
You should add the sole sourcing.
and
Sole
so,
sourcing.
they are
You should
single
add the sole
source,
sourcing.
separate
Yes,
okay,
yes,
see.
yes.
Then there's
But if
sufficient
there's
But
competitive bidding,
no, I'm saying
it
there's
goes
no
through everything.
there's no
Then there's no
illegality
problem.
when there's sole sourcing.
this- Right?
There's no illegality when it is sole sourcing, but the laws allow for sole sourcing.
Yes.
Yes.
However, I'm going to point when it is sole source to a president's brother
Yes.
or the vice president's
Let's say
relative.
let's say the president's
Yeah.
family relatives.
So there's a suspected sole source, a suspected criminality. That's not it.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So, but as of now, we've not established that the sole sourcing that was done by the NPP
Yes.
which led to all the bashing by the NDC. People sitting in cabinet now. It means they did so on the basis of moral issues, not because they were studying criminality.
Well, suspected.
Suspected. Oh, suspected. That's what you're saying, Kwasi.
Yeah.
It's suspected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So the Ghanaian people who are watching and listening to me, if you give contract worth 40 billion, it may be 2%, it may be 3%. But when you look at the value of that sole sourcing, which is equivalent to almost 50 billion Ghana cedis, it's not a problem. I'm saying a time will come when the quiet Ghanaian people will take a decision on these things, whether there's double standards or not. They'll take a decision. Because the Ghanaian people watch and listen to press conferences by the people in government now on sole sourcing. It was not about criminality, as we are saying now. They just made the issue about as if something dangerous has happened. Today, they have sole sourced almost 50 billion Ghana cedi. They say it's just 3%. The Ghanaian people are watching. They are listening to us. A time will come, a decision will be made. That's my point.
No, colleagues, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Look, ultimately, the final arbiters are the people of Ghana.
Absolutely.
Ultimately. So, to that extent,
Yes.
you are absolutely
right.
There's no
Yes.
problem with that. You understand? However, Collins, these press conferences you referred to were made by all of you. All of you held press conferences, and all of you took positions. The only thing is that there were differences in the positions that you took. Again, it's important to avert our minds to the fact that all this debate about sole sourcing before 2024 and so on was actually occasioned by an Auditor General's report. That formed the basis of the agitation. You shouldn't forget that it was an Auditor General's report which formed the basis of the agitation. Okay?
Okay. Let me read some messages here. So this one here is from Sani Sali, who says, Assalamu alaikum. It's amazing how NPP is flying kites and going for fishing for elusive scandals rampantly. It's even more amazing how they are pushing for the same things they condemned yesterday. We send them into opposition. JM cares so little about an abortive Lincoln University award, and that tells you he is anti-LGBTQ and will personally remain a campaigner for man-woman heterosexual relationship. Such inconsistency and hypocrisy won't put pressure on everyone. Good morning. That's from Sani Saliu. Kojotu Mwafo says, good morning, Moro. I see my nephew has joined the Scandal Development Authority as the receptionist. Please ask my nephew that where was his conscience when they awarded $95 million sole source contract to a contract named the National Cathedral. Peter T. from Shukura says, good morning, Moro. This is Peter T. from Shukura. Moro, enforcement of any law by whether legal or illegal is a sole responsibility of government in power. John Mohammed's government is a government that allows for broader consultation. Sole sourcing or no sole sourcing has its own implications. We need to begin to understand that governments have come and gone. But we had a record under Nana Bawumia administration that took this country into a huge financial mismanagement that damaged hope and aspirations of Ghanaians under sole sourcing. Say no to NPP and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says that, good morning, my brother. I totally agree with President Mahama saying that the issue of LGBTQ is not his priority at this moment. It is so because the bill has not gotten to his table yet. It's only become a priority to him if only the bill gets to his table for him to sign. At the moment, we're going through a lot in this country, which the president is so concerned about. If the NPP is so interested in the passing of the bill, they should have advised President Nana to sign the bill into law and not to authorize his secretary to return the bill to Parliament. When Parliament has finished its duties according to law and refer the bill to him to sign, the NPP should first and foremost finish the passing of the bill in Parliament first and refer to the President Mahama, and I can assure you that he will sign it without watching his back. President Mahama is not like President Kufuor, who has no respect for law and Parliament. Sebastian from Accra says, Moro, many people confuse single source and sole sourcing in procurement. Here is the difference. Single source is when only one supplier is chosen, even though others could provide the product or service. Sole sourcing is when only one supplier in the market can provide it. There's simply no alternative. Think of it like this. Single source is picking your favorite brand from many options. Sole source